All right, time for an update on the makeshift kiln. We're about 4 weeks after the start point, but the kiln had done its job by about 2.5 weeks, and I did a heat treatment cycle at about the 3-week mark, down to 8.3% moisture content, which is kind of what my target was. You can see my setup here. Ended up with a fairly aggressive fan. I moved that around a few times, but blowing as much air as possible through the wood I found was the key to keeping the moisture coming out. I ended up I monitored the entire process. This thing will hold, I'm estimating, about a gallon, and I emptied it 25 and 30 times. So about 30 gallons of moisture came out of this wood. I haven't even pulled the stack apart to see how it looks, but just from the edges, I got a little bit of checking. Some of this, honestly, I think it started before I even did the kiln. All my stuff is running here. Let me cut it off. So anyway, I will pull this apart and take a look and see. It looks like everything's pretty straight. One thing that was actually a really cool find is this guy right here. This is a Eli Tech humidistat and thermostat all in one. And the really cool thing about it is it's Wi-Fi capable. So I was able to monitor everything real time, and it keeps a log of what's happening, so you can look back at a graph and see what your heat cycles have looked like, what your moisture content or your humidity has been doing, make adjustments as needed. I'll put a link in the description and probably insert some screenshots of the Eli Tech web interface. Highly recommend it. 40 bucks I think it was on Amazon, and it made life way easier. The other product that I have is this Dr. Meter moisture sensor. It's 2-in-1. It actually has the pins, and it'll do contactless measurements. So what I found is, it even says in the instructions that the pin is way more accurate. So I'm getting 11 or 12% moisture content with the contact. It gives you an idea, but it's not nearly as accurate as the pins are. So overall, pretty pleased with that as well. All right, let me get some of this unstacked and we'll take a look. Okay, got some of this unstacked. Overall, it's looking pretty good. Not a lot in the way of checking, and for the most part, everything's straight. Got pretty much where there were knot holes, got some checking going on, but got a little bit of surface mildew or mold. I think that actually happened while it was air drying outside. It doesn't look like it's too deep. I think it'll sand out or whatever. Of course, this stuff's got to be flattened. There's a few spots where these knot holes are. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it twisted pretty bad. So that's probably not going to be usable. But the bulk of the lumber looks really good. This stuff is more spalted, and it, with the exception of these really rotted places, it stayed pretty flat. There's a example board there, or book match pair. Pretty much all of these are book matched. If you saw the earlier video, you probably saw some examples. So on to the next task, which is figuring out where to store all this stuff until I can either sell it or use it. I've got a 30 by 40 shop here, and it's absolutely full of junk. So I need to get that worked out. The only other thing, I'll probably use these stickers were just some stuff I had laying around, which is about 3/8 of an inch. And I think it's a little too narrow. That might have contributed to some of that mildew problem that I had. I'll go up to probably 3/4 inch stickers next time. And then I stacked this one row on the bottom sliver, which was kind of, you can see it's kind of not the full length of the log. And I think it may have caused some sagging on this end over here. I'll have to see how it looks when I get further down, but just looking at a couple of the boards, it looks like they're kind of bowed down. So probably better to start with that board or that board and have my stickers out further towards the edge. So not too bad for the first kiln drying experience. Pretty pleased. So I will make sure to post more information about that controller. Otherwise, thanks for watching.